Yo, what is good people, and welcome along to my latest video. So just before I start, I want to say that the content has taken a backseat lately. Now this is mainly due to the weather not being the best to explore in, not knowing where to go because of the sheer number of sites that I have to visit, money being slightly tight at this time of the year. As most of you know, I don't get paid for this and I do this all at my own expense. But yeah, I did pop somewhere late end of last week, but since then I've been making my mandatory birthday cake for Octavia, who's just turned 5 years old. So editing, like I say, it's taken the back seat. However, her birthday has now happened, the cake's been made, so I've turned my focus back to the editing now. So yeah, today's video is a short one, as I just hit this place on the way to see my brother in Wolverhampton. So yeah, I just happened to stop en route and explore for an hour or so. If you've watched my previous video on Kinver, this is a little bit of a follow on, but it's not on the same level, so I won't be boring you for an hour this time. But yeah, let's get to it then, shall we? And it all starts with a stroll down this dirt road, which actually leads to a horse riding school. Follow this path and keep heading the direction your nose takes you, so that's basically straight ahead of you, through the yard and taking the mud path that you're about to see, through into the fields. Now if you're not a fan of animals or you're a bit wimpy around them or whatnot, I don't advise that this place is for you, as the field that you have to go through is filled with roaming horses who are actually quite friendly, as they all approach you like when you're walking through. So like I say, if you're not a fan of that, then put your feet up, relax and watch the footage that I've got for you now. Now I don't actually have any footage of the actual descent coming down, because it is a steep one, I'll tell you that, and I was concentrating on not slipping because it was quite a wet day and whatnot. That and the fact I went down by myself first to check that it was okay, so I had all hands like clinging on and whatnot, and then the second time round I had Octavia wrapped around me clinging on for dear life. Now if any of you know of this place or have been to it or are planning on going to it, then hopefully you can appreciate where I'm coming from there. So yeah, straight away we're like met with this cliff face with the mandatory signs of vegetation covering it, and then straight away signs of pebbles in the rock face and whatnot. Now this does make me feel like it's some sort of aggregate or a render. As you can see, it is everywhere, and I do see this everywhere as well, like no matter what location I'm going to or whatnot, so it's pretty crazy. So yeah, it does make me think it's like a render or an installation or something to that sort of effect. Like it certainly doesn't feel natural to me, and it doesn't look natural to me either. So if we continue a little bit further along, actually no, let's show you where we are. I actually almost forgot. So yeah, let's have a look at the maps, and as you can see, we're not far from where I ended the last video, and then there's also a map of what I've shown so far, but there is a lot more to come at some point. So anyway, let's get back to it, and we're actually in a tunnel now. Now hopefully you can make it out. It's a bit different to the one that I showed you at Badger Dingle. There's a lot more render type material, just like everywhere else, like I say. And I must be sounding like a broken record at this point. Then if we look closely here, hopefully you can make out the hole. It feels like a door frame to me, and the other side, like the opposite side, is complete with a bird's nest. And I see this in quite a few places, and it does, like I say, it does feel like it's some sort of door frame or a frame of some sort. But yeah, that's just what I think. It could be something totally different. But yeah, it was a different design tunnel compared to the one that I've just mentioned. Well, I think it is anyway. What do you guys think? If you haven't seen it already, then go and check it out. I think it's like my first video that I did this year. It's Badger Dingle. and this is a pretty good example of how the difference in appearance is here. But yeah, we're now getting to the end of the tunnel, and we're almost gonna be entering the main cave, as it were. Now, this place is supposedly the biggest, and I'm using quotes now, natural cave in the area, and it was formed via the river. Well, that's what I've read. I don't believe it myself because of the height, which I'll show you later on. And it's a bit like the narrative from the Gibraltar Caves in the video that I done last time. But yeah, I can confirm this is the biggest cave that I have seen in the area so far, just as you guys are about to see. I don't even know what to think when I see this stuff anymore. I mean, some of it looks natural, some of it looks man-made. The more I see though, the more I don't think every last part of these places are man-made structures. It just doesn't make sense, the amount of different forms of stone that you see. More so, I think humans have come along and adapted and added to these places, which is why we see such an array of different shapes and sizes and materials and whatnot. Like I say, some are natural, some aren't. Now, I'm not saying these places aren't fascinating and steeped in history, because they are. It's just, I don't think it's all man-made. Now, I might lose a few viewers, but I'm not here for likes and subs. Again, it's just my opinion, which I'm not forcing onto nobody. I'm just putting it out there. And like I've said in the past, if you don't agree with me, that's cool. Either way though, you're probably going to agree with me when I say this is an awesome place. Now, there's more signs of render on the outer skin, crust, whatever you want to call it. And it looks like an aggregate of types. Again, it is a common feature, and I'm not sure what that hole is for. Maybe it was a cooker, but at the same time I'm not so sure, because other places I've been to that appear to have cookers, they have some sort of venting system that I just couldn't see here. Again, I sound like a stuck record, broken record, but yet more of whatever this is, render, I don't know. And then there was this, it looked like it was different rock altogether, but on closer inspection, it looked like it was mould, or possibly lime seeping through, but I didn't look at it for too long. Now, I'm probably wrong, but I don't claim to be right either. While we're here, let's have a little look at the LiDAR and see what's going on, shall we? As you can see at the top, it's Debdale Cave, the one that I showed at the end of my previous video, and then you've got the lead up to it, and then this cave, which is actually called Gloucester Caves. Now, it appears that there's more to it as you look on these maps, but yeah, quite a lot of it is just a cliff face, or it's been covered with vegetation so much that it's actually quite hard to make anything out. Let me just stress though, this was my first visit here, so I know if I go back, there's a chance I could see more, just like with every other place that I visit. Such an awesome place, even when it's a gloomy day. And yeah, we are quite high up, which I'm about to show you. But yeah, I don't feel like this gap has been here all along, like the opening here. I think at some point it would have been blocked up in some sort of fashion, with a tunnel acting as an entranceway of sorts maybe. I mean, I did show what appears to be signs of a frame in the tunnel, so like I say, it could have been a door. I'm not saying it was the only way in and out, but I do feel like it wouldn't have been a great big open hole like it is here. Again, without seeing these places in their prime, and the fact that they're not in history books, all I can do is speculate. all I can do is put together what I have and speculate. My views could and probably will change the more I look into things, and that's the beauty of it. Now I'll just finish off here showing you the outside of the cave like I mentioned, and the blocks that appear to have at one time formed a wall and lead up to more of what I've mentioned, cliff faces and dense vegetation. And then take note of the water down there. That's what apparently shaped this place. Yeah, anybody smell that too? So stay tuned if you want to see more raw footage of places like this, and let me know what you guys want to see more or less of. Like always, I've been Nicky B, and until next time.